Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be using Alan Lichtman's famous 13 keys tracker to predict the outcome of the 2028 presidential election. It has been updated. Now, it shows green and red. Green means it is true, and red means it is false. So it's no longer blue and red because this is not a presidential election, general election year. This is an off election year. And we do have some off election races coming up in November in New Jersey and Virginia as well, which I will discuss in a later video coming pretty shortly. So I'm going to be using this 13 keys tracker, which got a lot of backlash from a lot of people, including myself. But for those of you who don't know, I actually used this 13 keys tracker from Alan Lichtman to actually predict a Donald Trump victory in the 2024 presidential election. So I used this exact model to find out that Trump was going to win in 2024, and I was correct. I think even though Alan Lichtman predicted it wrong, I think his keys still work. I just think the bias has got to him. So before we begin, make sure you guys are subscribed, hit the bell so you don't miss my content. Press the like button, share this video. If you're interested, we have memberships. You can find links to that in the description section. So let's begin with key number one, midterm gains. After the midterm elections, the incumbent party holds more seats in the U.S. House of Representatives than after the previous midterm election. So this has nothing to do with the Senate. It's all about the House race. So I think in 2026, obviously, we don't have the results yet. But if I were to make a guess, I would say the 2026 House race would lean towards the Democrats in favor of them, which that means we're going to fill this key in red because it's false. There will not be midterm gains for Republicans, yes, in 2026. And then as for key number two, no primary contest. There is no serious contest for the incumbent party nomination. This key is true if the incumbent party nominee wins at least 2/3 of the total delegate vote on the first ballot at the nominating convention. Now, this is certainly going to be false because J.D. Vance, as of right now, is a front runner on Polymarket as the nominee in 2020 on the Republican side. That is certainly false because he's only polling at 53% on Polymarket. Like this says, he needs 2/3, so that's roughly what, like 63%. That's not going to happen. He's at 53, so he certainly won't get 2/3 of the vote for J.D. Vance. So this key is just false in favor of the Democratic Party. There will be a primary in 2028. And some people may think that Trump is going to run in 2028. I just think that's not going to happen. My honest belief is that Trump is not planning in his own mind that he's going to run in 2028. I think it's all talk just to keep the MAGA movement alive. And it's going to be like J.D. Vance or maybe Marco Rubio even as his VP candidate selection. So as for key number three, the incumbent party candidate is the sitting president. Incumbent seeking re-election. Obviously, this is false in favor of the Democrats as well. So the first three keys go in favor of the Democratic Party. Donald Trump will not be seeking re-election like I just mentioned. That is not going to happen. I believe that is all talk. And then key number four, no third party. There's no significant third party or independent campaign. And I don't think, they need 5% of the popular vote for this key to be true. And the best chance for an independent party was going to be like in 2024 for RFK, and that did not happen. Jill Stein was terrible. It's certainly going to be true. There will not be a third party that cracks over 5% at least, of the popular vote in 2028. It's not going to happen. So that key will actually go in favor. The first key to go in favor of Republicans. So far, it's 1-3 in favor of Democrats. So like I mentioned earlier, green means it's favor of Republicans, and red means it's in favor of Democrats. Key number five, strong short-term economy. The economy is not in a recession during the election campaign. A recession is a significant, widespread, and prolonged downturn in economic activity. A common rule of thumb is 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. Now, I would say that this key actually leans false. There is not a short-term strong economy. As of right now, the economy is weak, and mainly due to the tariffs. The tariffs is known to cause a short-term weak economy. So this key will be false in favor of the Democrats. As of right now, short term, the economy is pretty weak right now. Uh, GDP growth is, I believe, is negative right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then as for key number 6, a strong long-term economy, I would say this is likely true in favor of Republicans because I think what the tariffs do is exactly this. It creates a weak short-term economy, but the tariffs, over a long period of time will eventually create a stronger long-term economy in the long run in the future because it's going to be pretty painful for now. But in the long term, in the future, the tariffs will pay off because it will bring more manufacturing jobs back to America. And that's exactly what this is. So meanwhile, there's a weak short-term economy. There will be, probably likely, it's not for certain, a strong long-term economy. That's exactly what the tariffs do. So key number 6 will be green in favor of Donald Trump. So the economy is pretty split as if right now. Key number 7, major policy change. Obviously, this is certainly true. Donald Trump's policies are far different compared to Joe Biden, basically the exact opposite on every single issue. So this key will go in favor of Republicans. As for key number 8, no social unrest, I would say this is a toss-up. You can argue there is. You can argue there isn't social unrest. In my opinion, I do think there is social unrest. So this key will be false in favor of Democrats because I think what's going on with you've seen the protests happening, no King's Day protests. You've seen the ICE protests happening in a lot of major cities, and you see, people not being happy with, a potential what they say, authoritarian government. Now that may be coming from only one side, from the leftists, but it still counts as political unrest. You had not only that, you had the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and then you had obviously what happened to Melissa Hortman, the representative who Trump claims that he completely forgot about, and then you had what happened at the ICE facility, a shooting. So there is social unrest. So to say that there isn't, I think is false. So the key number 8 will go in favor of the Democratic Party. And as for key number 9, no scandal. I think this is also a toss-up, just like key number 8. You can argue one side. I'm going to argue in favor of Democrats. I think there is a scandal, and that's exactly the Epstein files. I think the Epstein list is literally the scandal that's going on. So this key, I think, is likely false in favor of the Democratic Party. I think there is a scandal. I think a lot of people can agree with that. And it's Epstein. That's literally it. Trump's name on the list, which is probably on the list, most likely, as we all know. And then key number 10, no foreign military failure. This is going to be true in favor of the incumbent party, obviously Republicans. So far, there is no military favor. As for key number 11, major foreign military success. This, as if right now, is going to be likely false. I mean, there wasn't really major success at all, and we're actually getting closer to being involved in the Russia-Ukraine war, if you guys don't know that. So that's not success. So that's going to go in favor of Democrats. As for key number 12, charismatic incumbent, that is certainly false. Donald Trump is not a charismatic, and he is the incumbent president, obviously. And then key number 13, uncharismatic challenger. I would say this is likely true. We don't know who will be the Democratic challenger nominee in 2028. Maybe Gavin Newsom. He's certainly not charismatic at all whatsoever. A lot of people in his own party even hate him as well. If it's Gretchen Whitmer, she doesn't fit the description. If it's Josh Shapiro, definitely not him. That's the most realistic candidates I can mention. So key number 13 will go in favor of Republicans. So it doesn't matter. Democrats win according to the updated model of Alan Lichtman's 13 keys tracker. 5 for the Republicans. They needed 8 or more. They didn't get it. They're actually 3 short. Democrats only needed 6. They get 8, so that's actually 2 more of what they originally needed. So as of right now, Democrats are looking like the favorite to win the 2028 presidential election. Now keep in mind, I predicted this with this exact same model in 2024 that Trump was going to win. Now I'm predicting it for the first time for 2028's election cycle as a Democratic win, which makes sense. I mean, obviously, the incumbent party typically loses the next election because the nation probably switched their views because, historically speaking, that's typically what happens. Remember? Obama to Trump to Biden to Trump. You know, it keeps going. right, left, right, left. So in that pathway, it's probably going to stay the same. So this is my prediction. Let me know which keys you agree with, which certain ones you disagree with, and why in the comment section down below. One last final reminder is to subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss all my content. Press the like button, share this video. Don't forget we have memberships. If you're interested, you can find links to that in the description section. Thank you everyone for watching.